Hello everyone. Today I'm just in the middle of Bishopwearmouth Cemetery in Sunderland. I'm going to go and visit one of my favourite spots in the cemetery, but I'll just show you. These are the foundations of the old nonconformist cemetery chapel. There was three cemetery chapels at Bishopwearmouth, the Catholic one, an Anglican one, and then this nonconformist one, which would be for Methodists, probably Baptists. There's a couple of different types of Methodists before they all unified, and Presbyterians. The place I'm coming to is just through this gap. I think it's one of the most tranquil and scenic parts of the cemetery, probably in the whole of Sunderland as well. There's something, I don't know what it is, something peaceful about the setting and seeing these hundreds of stones, all the same size, same shape, the same basic details held on them. There's quite a few hundred here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. About 200, 250 I think headstones, and if you notice, there's not many gaps between them. It is almost as if every one of these individuals has a headstone. Most areas of the cemetery will always find gaps where people either couldn't afford one, or they just simply didn't want a headstone, or there was nobody to arrange a headstone. But this is the Friends section of Bishopwearmouth Cemetery. That's the Religious Society of Friends, also known as the Quakers. So before this opened in 1856, their last burial site in the town was on the corner of Nile Street and Burr Road, where there was a meeting house. The actual graveyard's under a car park now. So from 1856, when this cemetery opened, the town's Quaker community was buried in this spot. There's lots of the same surnames. I'll just give you one example. Common surname in here is Newby. There's also many Wilsons, many Sharps, many Pearmans, many Backhouse, Mounseys. Some of the common Quaker names from the town's history. When you walk down the middle, it's all almost like they're watching you. Just bend down, and if you look, you see them all there. Lots of these people were businessmen, like the Backhouse family, Wilson the grocers, Grimshaw. Just looking around, you can just see Pumphrey, Hills, Pickard, more Grimshaw, Laidler, and so on. Quaker headstones are different from most other denominations' monuments, as pretty much they all follow the same pattern. Sometimes it gives more impact, but in one way you don't really know much about that particular person. There's no occupation, there's no where they died, the place of birth, how they died, all the backstories. It's just uniformity in death. But look at this one here. This is William Dove, died 3rd of first month 1890, age just half an hour. Just a simple stone. Young infant. So as you can see, they say died 3rd of 1st month. They don't use days of the weeks or months because most of them had a pagan origin. When Quakers first started burying people, sometimes they didn't have a headstone or they had just like any other stuff, but then they sort of agreed, let's just keep them uniform. But I was at Hawes in the summer, and the Quakers graveyard there was a complete and utter mixture. It had some like this, then it had other ones mentioning people born in Dublin. Didn't seem, it might have depended on which particular community, how strict each community was. But there's Irene Dove, died 4th month, 18, I think that's 92, aged 10 days. I'm guessing Irene would probably be the brother of William Dove. I can see a horse season over there. I think that's a Shetland name. There's Corder. I saw one before. Where's it gone? I was walking through. So if you ever want to find out about any of these, unless you recognise the name, you obviously have to research them and so on. But there's Sarah Clayton. Now, she was a nurse at, I think, the infections infirmary somewhere around, just close to here actually. She tragically died. She caught, I think it was either typhoid or typhus off one of the patients while she was working. That's a great surname. There's James Botham Marriage, died 25th of 4th month, 18. I think that's 87 or 97 age. I think it's 73 years. And then behind it, there's a Beatrice Marriage, died 1st of 1st month, so New Year's Day. Again, it's a bit worn away. I think that's age. That's either 1889 or 1899, and she was aged, I think that's 80 something years. I'm guessing, I don't know for definite, I'm guessing those two, probably husband and wife. There is another gentleman here who went across Europe. It's called Jones. He wrote a book, I think is it William Jones or somebody like that? See if I can find him. There, William Jones. Died 28th of 7th month, 1899, aged 73 years. If you Google William Jones, Quaker, Sunderland, he wrote a book. Did a story about him, but it was a couple of years ago and I can't remember all the details. But he went on a mission where they were helping casualties of war during some of the European wars of the second half of the 18th century. There is horse season. I've got a feeling that is a Shetland or in here. Absolutely freezing. There's members of the Backhouse family, a very famous Quaker family from Sunderland's history. I think it was Thomas Backhouse who donated the land for Backhouse Park. They were into banking. There's another one. Lucy Backhouse Mounsey. No, there's another one. John Mounsey. Mary Mounsey. For some reason, a lot of the headstones in this section, like that one there, have weathered away. Some of them have completely gone, whereas most on that side are complete good nick. So I don't know whether it's to do with the trees overhanging them. It was a different type of stone. But there was also lots of people from Quakers whose remains were buried here after cremation. They're remembered at the back. That one's a slightly different style to the others. It's from 1866. Some of them have turned over, so you can't see what it is. There's Edward Dodgson, aged 62 years, and next to him is Hannah Dodgson. She died 1877, aged 70 years. I'm just speculating. I won't be surprised if that's husband and wife. I don't know if you in this area if you could purchase a grave plot in advance to be next to your partner. Again, Mounsey. Then there's Ogden. I think there's a couple of headstones completely covered in ivy. So if you ever want to visit this particular spot, it's right in the centre of Bishopwearmouth. I'm surprised there isn't like a seat, like a garden seat to sit there, because it's a very tranquil place just to soak up the history. Look at that. There's another horse season. There is one which I'll show you. This is in remembrance of John Picard, who died in peace on the second day of the second month, 1859, aged 81 years. Now, if you look at that, compared to the others, that is really ornate. Got this extra bit inscribed, and then remembrance of, and then there's an epitaph of, was it gone? Who died in peace. That is quite ostentation compared to the rest of this particular cemetery. There's quite a few Picards in here. I'm only speculating, but possibly he might have been the first Quaker to be buried in this particular section, because it is quite close to the beginning. And then it might have been mentioned to him that, like, other people that, don't do these ones. We need that other style, because the cemetery opened in 1856 or 1859 isn't a great deal after. And then there's another piece of history just at the back here. In this place, the remains of 202 persons buried in the ground behind 148 High Street West and Garden Street, Sunderland, between the years 1670 and 1821 were reinterred on the 21st of 4th month, 1923. So if you go down the bottom of High Street West, just before it hits the roundabout at Sand Street, on the left hand side there's like a car park next to like a car repair centre. That's where this particular burial ground was. So in the 1600s, Quakers weren't particularly welcome in Anglican and the established churchyards. So many were buried in gardens or places away from the standard churchyards. So the first Quaker community in Sunderland established a burial ground just there. So it was there for several hundred years, and then I think, I'm trying to remember back, I think about 1822 it stopped being used, and they moved across to the one on the corner of Borough Road and Nile Street, and then used that particular graveyard. And it was about 1922, 1923 they sold the land, and the remains were dug up and they were all brought here. I think a few more were found when they were doing like that inner ring road back in the late 80s, and they were also buried back up here. But apparently there was a stone which marked that graveyard, which is long gone. just leave you with the last shot. Right, that's it. I'm off to warm up because it's absolutely freezing. So thank you very much for watching this video. If you do like it, please give it a like, and also if you could do me a favour, click on the subscribe option if you want to, and you get more updates for any other videos I do, because I'm sure there'll be a few more at some point. So thank you very much for watching.